So today we are on our way to the western themed town of Winthrop. I'm really excited about that. But in the meantime, we are taking a scenic drive from Grand Coulee Dam to check it all out. So come along with us for another Squatch Dog adventure. Did you bring your cowboy hat and chaps?
Darn, I forgot them, Joanne.
You can't go into Winthrop without a cowboy hat and chaps.
Just like I forgot my later ocean.
Ah, man. Oh well, maybe we could find you some in Winthrop.
Never owned a cowboy hat or cowboy boots.
Or chaps.
What are those?
Those things that you put on your legs. You put them over your jeans.
We'll go looking for some, I guess.
Okay, there's always a first for everything. I gotta say, this is really a nice scenic drive from Grand Coulee Dam. It's a lot different from what you might see on the west side of the state, that's for sure. These rocks that are sticking up are known as Haystack rocks. They're basalt, and it was deposited by huge glaciers back during the Ice Age.
So they came from a long ways away.
So we're gonna go on this Mill Creek Interpretive hike. It's a 1 mile loop in an area where they revegetated this with a bunch of native plants in hopes of revitalizing the stream, Mill Creek, and all of its wildlife habitat. See what we find. This old homestead has changed hands numerous times throughout the decades. Bad farming practices resulted in the destruction of a wetlands area here, and also just the quality of the land. So in 2016, they started a revegetation project, and hopefully they'll be revitalizing this area and bringing back all of the animals that were here before. So according to this, we're supposed to see a bunch of berry plants and trees, and all I see is this, I don't know, what is this? Some kind of wheat almost? I probably blew in from someplace and propagated.
Bears like chokeberry.
And it looks like they tried planting some trees there and they never took. Kind of a shame that they put all of this time and effort into something and then just let it go. Well, interestingly enough, we are now in pine trees. Amazing how the landscape changes on this road.
Just a little elevation gain, Joanne.
That's all it took. And we keep going up, up, up.
Just a little elevation gain, Joanne.
And now it's getting even brushier through here.
Just a little elevation gain, Joanne.
Whoa.
That looks like a moose spot.
That looks like a total moose spot. Once again, the landscape starts to change. And we see mountains off in the distance. Those must be the North Cascades. Down below is the town of Omak. Big rodeo town. They have the famous stampede there. And this is where they have the Omak Stampede. These are the rodeo grounds. So this is what makes the Omak Stampede so famous. Suicide Hill. They've got a thing called the Suicide Race, where horsemen will come on down this hill as fast as can be on their horses and then make their way through the Omak River on over to this trail and into the rodeo grounds. It's very dangerous. But onward we go towards Winthrop. First, we're going to stop at Sun Mountain Lodge. We're going to grab some lunch there. Cascade Loop. Took a detour. Sun Mountain Ranch. And this is the Sun Mountain Lodge. Just outside of Winthrop. Pretty. You're welcome by a buffalo. This is the bar. It's got incredible views. Look at the view from the lodge, from the dining room. This is beautiful. Well, that was a cool stop and a yummy lunch.
That was a good lunch. Good lunch.
It was a good lunch. Now let's go to Winthrop and take in these beautiful views on our way down.
And get ready for the Seahawks.
Yes. Here we are in the wild, wild west town of Winthrop. We are hanging out at Three Finger Jacks in Winthrop watching the Seahawks lose. Who is?
Right here.
Whoa! Oh, yeah! They did it! Touchdown! Finally. Alas, the Seattle Seahawks lost to the Detroit Lions 29-42. You know, there's not a lot of options for boondocking or camping here in the Winthrop area. So last night we spent the night at the Pioneer RV Park. And it's nice. It's got green grass, showers that you have to pay extra for, and toilets. And you can do laundry here as well. They've even got teepees that you can stay in. And they look really cozy. Check one out. I love going to old historic cemeteries. And this one in Winthrop is loaded with old headstones. Like this one. Hannah was the beloved wife of Thomas J. Jones. She died January 2nd, 1903, at 65 years, 2 months, 3 days. Weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. Her husband Thomas died in 1909 on November 23rd. He was 75 years old and 14 days. So they were born in the early 1800s, early to mid 1800s. Andrew Hall was born in 1844 and died in 1912. That's an old one. Hattie Jane Sharp and Henry Andrew Sharp are both buried here. She was born in 1869. He was born in 1865. And they died in the 1950s. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think it's going to be a Winthrop kind of day. I'd like to go through this little old western town. It looks super cute.
Okay.
And I'd like to go through the Shafer Museum as well. It's an outdoor museum that you can just tour on your own.
What's in it?
Old stuff.
Old stuff. All right.
So I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, take a shower, and take on the day.
I'm gonna have another cup of coffee.
All right. I think Riker's going to... Oh, he's awake. We'll go for a hike later on today, Riker. So directly across from this RV park is the Shafer Outdoor Museum. It's got all sorts of artifacts from the history of the Methow Valley. Things like mining, farming, and just living the rough life near the turn of the century in the 1800s. This location was originally settled by one of Winthrop's founding fathers, Guy Waring, and he moved out here and promised his wife a castle, so they built a log castle for its time, and it was quite ostentatious for that time in the 1800s. He stayed around until about 1920, and then about 10 years later, Simon Shafer bought the place and decided to preserve the Methow Valley history by collecting all sorts of artifacts from earlier days so that he could turn this into a museum. And here's the museum that we see today that was started back in 1946. It's got everything from old cars to sleighs, to an old apple press, and an old tractor. Imagine life as a farmer in the late 1800s to early 1900s. And get a glimpse of the equipment that was used in the early days of gold mining. Winthrop and the Methow Valley are huge recreation sites. There's over 120 miles of cross-country ski trails that are maintained daily in the wintertime. And in the summer, there's lots of fishing opportunities and rafting on the rivers, or just hiking in some of the beautiful trails. After all, this is kind of the gateway to the North Cascades. So back in the 1970s, Highway 20 was nearing completion and was going to be going through the town of Winthrop. So some business people saw that as an opportunity to turn this into a tourism town. They took a cue from the little town of Leavenworth that became a Bavarian village and decided to turn this into a Western community. So all the storefronts have a Western theme, and one of the lumber companies helped fund this opportunity. And now it's a huge tourism town. There are so many cute shops here in Winthrop. Super cute Western purse. I like it. So what do you think of Winthrop?
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Good chocolate.
Good chocolate. That was a good piece of chocolate.
Yeah, it's fun.
This year, Winthrop is celebrating its 100th birthday. How is the bridge?
There's something in it. I don't know what it is. You should go there and ask the guys working what they're doing.
So these guys are working on the river down below us. This is a smolt catcher, I guess. Kind of a fish wheel sort of a thing, and then they tag the smolt here in this river.
And then when you catch the salmon, bond it, and then you can tell where your salmon is.
Well, I liked Winthrop. That was cute.
Cool town.
It was a cool town. Join us next week as we take you to the quaint Washington town of Mazama. We're also going to take you to the highest drivable pass in Washington. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Meanwhile, happy trails!